The air here does not just touch you, it weighs you down. It is 60 million years ago, in the epoch we will one day call the Paleocene. But names do not matter here. Only the heat matters. You are standing in the Cerrejón Rainforest of Colombia. But this is not the Amazon you know. This is a biological furnace. The temperature sits at a suffocating 34 degrees Celsius, day and night. A relentless, humid blanket that forces life to grow or die. The oxygen levels are so dangerously high, nearly double what you breathe today, that the atmosphere itself feels volatile, as if a single spark could ignite the entire world. The vegetation is a green hell of violence. Ferns the size of palm trees wrestle for sunlight, and the canopy above is a solid roof of leaves, locking the heat in, turning the jungle floor into a steam room. In this greenhouse, evolution has lost its brakes. Without the dinosaurs to trample them, the reptiles have seized the throne, and the heat has fueled their growth to nightmare proportions. And here, sliding through the black mud, is the king. He is not merely an animal. He is a geological event. The Titanoboa. He is 48 feet of muscle, a living freight train that could stretch the length of a school bus and still have tail to spare. He weighs nearly 3,000 pounds, a ton and a half of cold-blooded ambition. On land, he is heavy, burdened by gravity, his massive ribs splaying out just to support his own bulk. You can hear him before you see him. The sound is a slow, wet, grinding scales rasping against the bark of fallen ancient trees. He is shedding. The process is agonizing. The old skin, dull and scratched from months of prowling the riverbeds, has become too tight for his expanding frame. He hooks his snout against a rough mahogany root and pushes. The sound of tearing parchment fills the humid air. He writhes, a titan trying to escape a straitjacket. Inch by agonizing inch, the old gray husk peels back, rolling down his body like a discarded sock. Underneath, the new scales glisten with an iridescent sheen, black and olive green, polished armor ready for war. He is vulnerable in this moment, half blind as the skin clears his eyes. But no one dares to attack him. The jungle knows better. Even the wind seems to hold its breath as the king is reborn. He opens his jaw, a cavern of recurved teeth, and lets out a hiss that sounds like steam escaping a high-pressure valve. He is fresh. He is shiny. And more importantly, he's starving. The Titanoboa slides into the... On land, he was a siege in the dark. Tea-colored water. The water supports his massive... He does not swim. He flows. He is a submarine of flesh and bone, moving without a ripple, disturbing nothing, displacing only fear. The river is a soup of silt and decaying leaves. Visibility is near zero. But he does not need eyes to see. He hunts with the heat pits lining his upper lip, biological sensors that paint the world in shades of thermal radiation. He tastes the water with a forked tongue the size of a human arm, analyzing the chemical trails drifting in the current. He smells fear. He smells life. Ahead, buried deep in the soft mud of the riverbank, lies the prey. a giant lungfish. It is a relic, a creature that has survived mass extinctions. Massive in its own right, thick with muscle and confident in its camouflage. It rests motionless, its gills gently pulsing, unaware that a shadow has fallen over its world. The lungfish believes the mud is a sanctuary. It is wrong. The mud is a dinner plate. The Titanoboa coils his lower body against a submerged log, locking himself in place to create leverage. He is a loaded spring, a biological catapult waiting for the trigger. He inches forward. The movement is so subtle, it merges with the current. 10 feet away. 5 feet. The lungfish senses a shift in the water pressure, a displacement that feels wrong. It twitches. The reaction time is measured in milliseconds. The lungfish tries to bolt, its tail kicking up a cloud of silt. But the strike has already happened. It is faster than the eye can track. The Titanoboa does not just bite. He launches the front third of his body like a missile. His mouth unhinges, expanding to an impossible width. Rows of backward-facing teeth, sharp as fishing hooks, slam into the lungfish's flank. There is no chewing. There is only the grip. The impact creates a shock wave in the water, a dull thud that vibrates through the riverbed. Nearby, a cluster of Podecnemis, ancient turtles with shells as wide as manhole covers, scatter in a panic. They paddle frantically towards the reeds, desperate to escape the turbulence. They know this vibration. It is the dinner bell of the apex predator. They watch from the safety of the roots as the water churns violently. The lungfish thrashes, a desperate dance of life. But the Titanoboa's neck muscles bulge, thick as tree trunks, absorbing the struggle. He begins to walk his jaws over the prey, dragging the still struggling fish into the gullet, into the crushing darkness of his throat. The river settles. The silt drifts back down. The phantom has fed, but the king's appetite is never truly gone. Time passes, but the heat does not relent. If anything, the furnace of the Paleocene is stoked higher. The sun beats down on the Cerrejón basin with a malice that evaporates the shallows, turning the edges of the river into cracked, baking clay. The world is shrinking. The vast, sprawling, forcing the titans of this era into an uncomfortable, claustrophobic proximity. The Titanoboa moves sluggishly now. The digestion of the lungfish has begun. A metabolic fire burning within his belly that demands energy and stillness. He seeks the deeper channels, the cool pockets of water where the sun cannot reach. But he is not the only monarch looking for a throne in the shade. The water ahead ripples, not with the grace of a snake, but with the jagged, violent disturbance of something hard and heavy. A snout breaks the surface first, long, narrow, and lined with teeth that interlock like the gears of a rusty machine. It is followed by eyes that burn with a cold, reptilian intelligence. This is Acherontisuchus. He is a dinosaur, a prehistoric crocodile that stretches 20 feet from snout to tail. In another time, he might have been the king. In this river, he is the challenger. He is built for violence. Unlike the modern crocodiles you know, his legs are longer, his posture higher. He does not just swim, he prowls. His skin is a fortress of osteoderms, bony plates embedded in the dermis that act as chainmail, impenetrable to claws and teeth. He has entered this stretch of the river not to hunt fish, but to claim the cooling currents for himself. He exhales a low, guttural rumble that bubbles up through the water. A sound so deep it vibrates the rib cages of the smaller animals hiding on the banks. It is a sonic flag planted in the mud. He is claiming this territory. The Titanoboa stops. His tongue flicks out, tasting the chemical signature of the intruder. It tastes of musk and aggression. In the animal kingdom, conflict is expensive. An injury leads to infection, and infection leads to death. Usually, the larger predator wins without a fight, simply by displaying its bulk. But the drought has rewritten the rules. There is nowhere else to go. The standoff begins in silence. The Podecnomis turtles, those ancient survivors who have witnessed 1,000 such disputes, know what is coming. They abandon the water entirely, clawing their way up the slippery mud banks. Their shells clacking against one another in a clumsy stampede to reach the safety of the fern forests. They leave the arena empty. The crocodile snaps his jaws, a sudden pistol crack sound that echoes off the jungle walls. It is a warning shot. He turns his body broadside, maximizing his silhouette, showing off the thick, armored plating of his flank. He is a tank inviting a rifle to fire. The Titanoboa responds. He does not retreat. Instead, he begins to rise. It is a terrifying defiance of gravity. The front third of his body lifts out of the water, towering 6, 7, 8 feet into the air. He sways gently, hypnotic and terrible. He looks down at the crocodile, his black eyes unblinking. The size difference is staggering. The crocodile is massive, a heavy-duty military vehicle, but the snake is a train. The Titanoboa's neck is thicker than the crocodile's torso. The air between them shimmers with heat. This is a cold war of the Paleocene. One possesses the ultimate defense, a shield of bone that can deflect almost any bite. The other possesses the ultimate weapon, a muscular hydrostatic engine, capable of generating pressure equivalent to having the Brooklyn Bridge dropped on your chest. The crocodile hisses again, flashing the pale interior of his mouth, exposing the rows of needle teeth designed to grip slippery prey. He lunges forward, just a foot, a feint to test the snake's reflexes. The Titanoboa does not flinch. He holds his ground, a monolith of scales. The tension is a physical weight, stretching the moment, until it feels like the snapping point of a steel cable. The peace of the river is over. The war has arrived. It is the crocodile who breaks. The patience of a reptile is legendary, but the heat of the Paleocene boils the blood and shortens the temper. The Acherontisuchus sees the snake's tail drifting too close. A momentary lapse in the Titanoboa's defense. He snaps. It is a mistake that will cost him everything. The crocodile lunges, his jaws slamming shut on the thick scales of the snake's lower third. Teeth meet armor. But before the crocodile can initiate his death roll, before he can twist and tear, the river explodes into chaos. The Titanoboa does not pull away. He pushes in. The snake whips his head back, not to bite. He throws the upper loop of his body over the crocodile's shoulders like a wet, heavy rope. The splash sends a wall of water crashing into the ferns. The crocodile thrashes, his tail beating the water into a white froth, desperate to shake the weight off his back. But the weight is alive. The first coil locks into place. This is not a wrestling match. It is industrial execution. The Titanoboa wraps a second loop around the crocodile's midsection, trapping the front legs against the rib cage. The constriction begins. It is a common myth that snakes crush their prey to death instantly. The truth is far more sadistic. The Titanoboa waits. He feels the crocodile's rib cage expand as it tries to inhale. And the moment the crocodile exhales, the snake tightens. He takes up the slack. Millimeter by millimeter, he steals the space required for life. The pressure is unimaginable. We are talking about 400 pounds per square inch. It is equivalent to having the weight of the Brooklyn Bridge concentrated on your chest. The crocodile's armor, those osteoderms evolved to deflect teeth and claws, are useless against this hydraulic vice. You can hear the physics failing. There is a sickening dry crack loud as a gunshot underwater. A rib snaps. Then, another. The crocodile's eyes bulge, rolling back in panic. He tries to bite, snapping blindly at the coils, but he is biting into a wall of solid muscle. The Titanoboa's head rests on top of the pile, calm, almost meditative, squeezing the life out of his rival with the indifference of a machine. The heart of the crocodile tries to pump, but there is nowhere for the blood to go. The veins collapse. The struggle slows. The thrashing turns to twitching. The twitching turns to... The river returns to silence, but it is a different kind of silence now. It is the heavy, metallic silence of a battlefield after the artillery has stopped. The Acherontisuchus floats limp in the embrace of the king, a broken toy of bone and scale. The Titanoboa holds the squeeze for a few minutes longer, ensuring the job is done, ensuring the rival will not rise again. Slowly, the coils loosen. The snake unravels, his body leaving deep indentations in the crocodile's armored hide. He is exhausted. The battle has spiked his body temperature, and he needs to cool down. He nudges the carcass. It is too wide to swallow here, in the shallows. He grips the crocodile by the snout and begins to drag him. It is a grotesque parade. The victor towing the vanquished into the deep, dark gloom of the channel floor. As the silt settles, the stage is reset. The Podectomys turtles, watching from the mud banks with their beady black eyes, sense the danger has passed. They slide back into the water, one by one. They paddle toward the site of the struggle, sniffing the water. There is blood here. There are scraps of torn flesh. The opportunists will feast on the leftovers of the duel. The sun begins to dip below the canopy, painting the water in blood-red hues. The jungle screams with the sound of insects, a deafening chorus celebrating the night. Deep below the surface, the Titanoboa rests, coiled around his prize. The heat is still oppressive. The world is still violent. But tonight, the river belongs to him. The king has eaten. The king sleeps. And the nightmares of the Paleocene continue.